Have you ever wondered about the life of pirates during their golden age? Would you have thrived in their world or barely survived? Greetings everyone, I'm Chris. Today we're diving deep into the mysterious world of pirates. During their golden age, from legendary figures like Blackbeard to the strict pirate code, we'll uncover the realities of pirate life that might just surprise you. The golden age of pirates was an era when legendary and famous pirates emerged one after another. The infamous Blackbeard, also known as Edward Teach, was so feared that many believed he had emerged straight from the gates of hell. Isn't that a captivating thought? Captain Kidd, Bartholomew Roberts, and Samuel Bellamy were among the most notorious pirates of their time. For instance, Samuel Bellamy attacked a staggering 53 ships in just about a year. That's the frequency with which he was raiding at least once a week. During this period, there were many pirates who are still legendary today. As you all may have noticed, the pirates of this era served as inspiration for popular works like the One Piece manga. What would happen if you joined the pirates? As a pirate, you will live on the sea. If you joined the pirates, you'd first have to adhere to a strict code. Then there is the military atmosphere, and the captain and senior public officers were called sirs. If you recall, we mentioned Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard, as someone who was rumored to have emerged from hell. If I had become his subordinate, I might have been subjected to the highest level of power harassment. Blackbeard cultivated an image that made people perceive him as a super bad guy, a truly fearsome figure. When Blackbeard committed piracy, his fearsome reputation often preceded him, making many believe it's the dreaded Blackbeard resistance is futile. This allowed him to take ships with minimal resistance, and without causing harm to human lives or cargoes. This was his strategy. He even braided his beard in the morning and lit it himself before battle, making him appear like a demon amidst a cloud of smoke. Well, surely it would be extremely scary if someone like this appeared, even when he raided a large merchant ship in 1718. He reportedly declared after the plundering, "I've taken everything from you." He would then set these massive ships ablaze. This was a message to all those who tried to hinder Blackbeard. And according to legend, he was merciless not only to his enemies, but also to his friends. He opened fire on the navigator of his own ship, and is said to have later remarked, "Sometimes if you don't hit one or two of the crew, they will forget who you are," he reportedly said. It's a chilling thought. Also, when he drank too much, he stood up and said, "Let's make hell ourselves and see how long we can stand it." And he filled some pots with sulfur and set them on fire. The smoke from the sulfur made the pirate's coffin run out of the room. But Blackbeard remained there until the end. Given all this, if you became a pirate in those days, you might have ended up working for quite an extraordinary figure, right? Now, let's take a look at the very interesting pirate code. The pirate code was a set of rules that all crew members had to follow on board the ship. There were a variety of rules, the most important of which related to the sharing of treasure, as well as rules to prevent self-poisoning, such as not smoking near gunpowder. The oath was usually taken over a Bible, but sometimes a pistol. A skull or a cannon was used instead of a Bible. Take, for example, Bartholomew Roberts, a very successful pirate who took 400 ships in his lifetime. His ship was auspiciously named the Royal Fortune. He was a very pirate-like captain. The rules of his highly successful pirate crew offer insights that might even be applicable to building a good team today. 1. All crew members have equal rights. They shall always have the same rights to fresh food and strong drink and shall be free to use them. 2. Avoiding wrangling and food resentment. It is certainly important. Theft is unacceptable, right? Furthermore, here's the great thing. If anyone takes from his fellow man, he shall have his nose and ears cut off, and be left on a place where he will face much harsher hardship. Not on a deserted island. It is terrifying. 3. Gambling with cards and dice is forbidden. 4. Lights out at 800. If you want to drink more, drink on deck without lights on. 5. Keep each pistol and sword in good order. If you can't use your weapons in case of an emergency battle, there is no point in being a pirate. 6. Do not bring in boys or women. If a woman is brought in dressed as a man, it is punishable by death. If you bring them in, it is a little too specific. Maybe someone has done it in the past. 7. If you flee from your ship or post during a battle, you will be sentenced to death or maroon. It would be unfair if there were those who tried their best during the battle, and those who were a little scared and weak-minded, like maybe they should hide. That was also well defined in the rules. 8. Do not fight on board. All disputes should be settled through duels on land. Engaging in a duel was a life-risking event. Duelists would start back-to-back, then turn and fire at each other. They also kicked each other with swords, in case they got blood on their heads, and said, "It's a duel," they would definitely disclose it later. Breaking the rules had severe consequences for pirates, from having their ears cut off to facing death, or being forced into a duel. Life at sea wasn't just about battles and treasure. Pirates also faced numerous health challenges. While they engaged in acts like robbing and stealing, their internal code of conduct was surprisingly strict. For example, the captain is chosen equally by an election, in which each person has one vote. If someone wasn't fit to be captain, they'd be dismissed. Also, the captain always had the final say, as he or she was in overall command during battle. Now, if you were a naughty pirate engaging in certain activities at the harbor, you might have contracted diseases like scurvy. That disease, which causes gums to bleed, joints to ache, leads to weakness, and eventually death, is scurvy. Scurvy was a common affliction of every sailor of this era. This is a disease caused by a vitamin C deficiency. Even today, while rare, people can get scurvy from a lack of vitamin C, so it's essential to be cautious. The pirates drank a drink called Grog, which also prevented scurvy. If you want to try drinking the same thing as the pirates, just add rum, water, brown sugar, and a squeeze of lime, and you have a grog. This might sound tasty to some. Another disease that plagued the pirates was syphilis. They used to frequent brothels. During this period, syphilis was rampant, especially in the American colonies and Europe. It is said that Blackbeard had syphilis and obtained medicine not only for himself, but also for a few of his crewmates. This might be a facet of Blackbeard's life not depicted in One Piece. Interestingly, the most common treatment for syphilis during that time was mercury. Much to my surprise. You might wonder, can mercury cure syphilis? No, of course, mercury poisoning makes you more sick, but it cured symptoms such as tremors and sores. Other diseases that the pirates feared were infection. Injuries at the ship would cause infection from wounds, resulting in the loss of limbs or having to have them amputated. These risks were much higher than normal people. How well do you handle your alcohol if you were to be a pirate? You'd need to have a strong tolerance for drink. Beer and rum were preferred because they could be carried in barrels, and were more convenient than water, which would spoil. Since food was not always available on a ship, they probably drank a lot. As if to compensate for this, stories of pirates' drinking habits have been passed down, including an account from a merchant in the 1720s. After his ship was wrecked in the Caribbean, he spent 4 months with pirates and described them as coarse drunkards. Our infamous Blackbeard, Edward Teach, believed that strong drink was essential to keep his crew in check. Some pirates, however, have chosen not to drink. Bartholomew Roberts, a successful pirate who captured over 400 ships and made a huge fortune, was different. He dressed like a gentleman and drank a lot of tea, not alcohol. Roberts was unique among pirates. He was more of an intellectual, often seen as a gentleman of the seas. By the way, the pirates' diet wasn't exactly gourmet, consisting of hardtack biscuits and salted meat. It's believed that pirates, due to their frequent raids and stops, had a slightly better diet compared to the crews of long-sailing merchant vessels. Pirates frequently moved from island to island, replenishing their food supplies. They also seized food from the merchant ships they attacked, ensuring they were stocked more often than naval or merchant vessels. However, they weren't without their share of dangers. Consider pirate Henry Morgan. when his ship ran aground in 1670. He and his crew resorted to frying and eating shredded pieces of a leather bag. Now, these pirates led a harsh and dynamic life. But what was the end of it? In 1718, a pirate hunter named Woodes Rogers became governor of the pirate haven of the Bahamas in the Caribbean, and the pirates who had been based there were driven out one by one. The crackdown on pirates gradually became more and more severe, and as many as 4,000 pirates were executed during the 10 years from 1713. Blackbeard and other pirates are often thought of as mavericks, but in reality, many pirates were just ordinary people who had no choice but to commit crimes for a living. As time went by, it gradually became not worth the risk to repeatedly commit illegal robberies as pirates. Pirates led a life full of adventure, danger, and intrigue. While they might be romanticized in stories and songs, their reality was far more complex. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. Take care and see you in the next video. Goodbye!